Another month and some juicy yields for you to earn. This is Farms of the Month for September. Let's get straight to it. Welcome back to the channel. This is the monthly series, Farms of the Month, where we talk about all the different ways that you can earn yield on-chain. We have a variety of opportunities focused on stablecoins, but also sometimes a few different other assets. And anyone can participate. You can participate yourself. Yes, some of these are on Ethereum mainnet, but I do try to include some of the cheaper layer 2 chains so that everyone can participate. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. First of all, you can see this first if you follow me on Twitter. That's where you'll be able to see all of this alpha straight away. And I do these tweets threads essentially where I kind of cover all the different opportunities, and you can see last month's and the months before as well. We've got videos on the channel as well, so go and check them out. So we've got a few here. You can probably see them on screen at the very top of my browser. We're going to start with Aerodrome. Now, Aerodrome is a new app that's come out on the Base chain. Now, for those of you who don't know, Base is the new Coinbase layer 2 chain to help scale Ethereum. It has very cheap transaction fees and it's very easy to actually bridge onto the Base chain. I'm not sure, maybe I've done a video, I can't remember off the top of my head. I have talked about Base before though. And this is essentially a fork of Velodrome, which is a protocol we've talked about many times on the channel. And they have lots of different pools here. They have really grown quite significantly, over 100 million in TVL in just a week or so. We're focused on stablecoins, so we're going to look at some of the stablecoins here. And you know, you've got things like DAI with the Base USDC earning around 8%. Not too bad. It's better than what you'll get in your bank account for sure. And if you do have some stables that you just wanted to park somewhere, this might be somewhere where you can park and, you know, farm some Aero tokens. You do get paid in the Aero token, which personally I'm not particularly keen on, and my strategy here would be to just farm and dump these tokens. It's very easy to do this as well. You just basically find the pool that you want. You'll have to connect your wallet first. I haven't done that. And then you can basically just add 50-50 liquidity of both those assets and stake that LP token. If you want me to do a video about Aerodrome, let me know. I'll happily cover it. But I think most of you are fairly familiar with this sort of stuff anyway. So yeah, have a look. I mean, there are some volatile pools as well that you might be interested in. I'm pretty sure you can earn 20% on ETH stable pools as well. The yields were like much higher about a week or so ago, so they have obviously come down, but yeah, keep an eye and see kind of where incentives are going, because if there is a particular pool that receives a lot of incentives, that will result in a fairly decent APR. So this is on the Base chain, very cheap transaction fees. You know, you're talking less than 10 cents a transaction, and you can farm, look, you know, 9.5%, almost 10% now actually. So that's pretty decent actually for DAI and USDC as well. Moving on, we're going to talk about Reserve Protocol. Now, Reserve Protocol are an Ethereum-based application, and they have created these R tokens. I have done a deep dive on Reserve Protocol. You can go and watch that. It's on the channel. But essentially, these R tokens are there's a few different types. These R tokens are basically liquid derivatives of various different underlying assets. And they have one called EUSD and HYUSD. I'm not going to go into exactly what they're backed by, but they're fully collateralized. And you can basically farm them on places like Yearn. And that's because the reason why you can do this is because Reserve Protocol did a strategic $20 million investment into the Curve ecosystem. And so they have a lot of CRV tokens that they can use to incentivize some of these pools. Hence why you can earn 24% on dollars directly here. I say dollars, these are liquid tokens representing dollars with you know, various backing. So make sure you look into them and appreciate the risks associated with them, of course. But I think 24% double-digit yields on stable assets, that's beautiful. And you're not going to see this in many places in DeFi. This has been going on for quite some time now. I'm talking at least a couple of months. And so that's pretty decent considering that most yields evaporate pretty quickly nowadays. Definitely recommend checking out the Reserve Protocol R tokens, and you can farm them directly on Yearn or Curve or Convex, any of those places as you wish. Moving on, we're going to talk about Maker, and Maker are the issuers of the DAI stablecoin. We've just talked about DAI. In fact, you can farm on Aerodrome, and essentially DAI is backed basically by US Treasury bills. And essentially what's happening now is that you can earn this US Treasury yield directly on chain. You can do this on Spark, which is one of the Maker DAI protocols. And essentially you can just deposit your DAI directly here and earn that Treasury yield here. pretty easy. You basically deposit your DAI, you get a token called sDAI. You can actually leverage loop that, and you do this by borrowing another stable, selling it for DAI, and then repeating the process. If you want me to cover that, let me know as well. But this is a nice way that you can earn at least 5%. And I'd say this is probably one of the lower risk returns that you can get in DeFi today. I mean, there's $1.4 billion worth of DAI in this already. It's not small by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a kind of really interesting way to earn real yield, because this is real US Treasury yield that's been brought on chain. Moving on, we're going to talk about Lyra. Lyra is something that I have talked about many times before as well. Lyra is an option protocol, and essentially, if you want to provide liquidity to the AMM for people to trade these options, you can do so. They have recently added a couple of new vaults, XRP and Link, and that's because they can do this by hedging on Quenta. You might not understand everything that I'm saying here. If you don't, just let me know and I can do a deeper dive on this. We have talked about Lyra on the channel as well. All of these things we've talked about many times. But you can just look at the APYs that you can earn here just by providing your USDC. And essentially you are betting against traders here, but I think if you do have Lyra, you can earn some pretty decent yields, because you can stake your Lyra and then earn the yield on the right hand side here. So up to 20% there on your USDC. It is of course paid in the Lyra token, and you can do what you want with that. You can dump it, you can farm it, accumulate it, do what you want with it. But yeah, some interesting yields, and at the very minimum, you know, you are looking at 10%, so still double-digit yields on your stablecoin, which I think is pretty reasonable. Pendle are a really interesting protocol, and we have done a deep dive on this, and Pendle have now introduced a variety of real-world assets onto their protocol, and again, you can provide liquidity here. For example, sDAI, and we've just talked about sDAI, which you get from depositing DAI into here. You can then take your sDAI and provide it for liquidity on Pendle and earn up to 65%. Of course, this is all going to be in the form of mostly in the form of Pendle incentives, the Pendle token. For some reason, not loading for me right now, but you can see it on screen here. You can earn some pretty decent yields, double digit as well, for FUSDC as well. I think that's pretty good. I don't think that these yields are going to last for sure. These yields are going to run out. You can see that did just update in real time, so it's gone down a little bit to 47%, but so yeah, these yields will come down for sure as the TVL grows, but I do think that this is a pretty good opportunity to accumulate some Pendle, or to just farm and dump if you want. You're not going to get yields like this too often. And lastly, last but not least, we're going to talk about the new curve on Base. Base being the new Coinbase layer 2. That's where a lot of activity is happening, and you can see some of the yields that you can earn. Again, double digit yields for things like, you know, the 4 pool, which consists of USDC and then pretty much 3 versions of USDC, and then CRV USD as well. So I think there's lots of opportunities to earn some pretty decent yields. Let me know if you have any comments, or if you have any questions about any of these. I can do further videos talking about them if you're interested, but those are some of the different farming opportunities I have this month. They are pretty good. They are double digit yields, and I don't think they're going to last, but I think whilst they are here, you can definitely farm and make some money in the meantime. So that's all I've got for you today. Just a few different methods to make some money in the month of September. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with plenty more content in the near future.